Genetic engineering is really a radical revolution in food production. It's really a cell invasion technology.
Monsanto is the company that told us that PCBs were safe. They told us that Agent Orange was safe. They told us that DDT was safe, and now they're in charge of telling us if their own genetically modified foods are safe.
There's so much scandal, it's hard to put all in one package, but going back to aspartame, it's an artificial sweetener that's 200 times sweeter than sugar, first owned by Cyril, who the CEO was Donald Rumsfeld at the time, and then when he joined Reagan's cabinet, they passed through aspartame when the National Association of Soft Drink Association said, we do not want this passed. All the tests that Cyril have presented to us are full of holes, shoddy at best. So that was passed through. Monsanto later acquired Cyril, and then you see the FDA commissioner who was appointed during that time that passed aspartame later joined the public relations firm for Monsanto and Cyril. So there's just a revolving door.
Why did the FDA abdicate their responsibility to protect us? The White House had instructed the FDA to promote biotechnology under the first Bush administration. And so the FDA created a new position for Michael Taylor, Monsanto's former attorney. So Michael Taylor was in charge of policy at the FDA when this GMO policy was created, and then he became Monsanto's vice president, and under the Obama administration was put back in the FDA as the U.S. food safety czar.
The major impact that Monsanto has is their ability to get their products approved with minimal scientific oversight and minimal review of these products for human health testing is really an abomination.
2002, Monsanto hid decades of pollution. It happened in Anniston, Alabama.
In the last 3 years, I have lost more friends. They died from illnesses, cancer, sugar diabetes, hepatitis, all these different ailments that comes with PCBs, and they have been related to PCBs. Monsanto got permission to bury PCBs in Anniston. And this is Snow Creek, right here, where they put the cement in there. It comes from the plant, discharging PCBs all the way down through here.
Pollution, a letter addressed to sales executives in 1970.
This is the one that really tells you the story. They're saying, we can't afford to lose $1 of business. Their neighbors in Anniston were not told about the poisoning that they were inflicting upon them because they didn't want to lose $1.
95% of all the genetic modifications are done in order to allow the plants to survive more chemicals being sprayed on them and to allow the animals to survive more drugs being put into them. And of course what happens is that when their genes are changed, our genes are changed by consuming them, just as the superweeds and the superbugs are genetically altered by consuming them. The bug eats the plant, its genes change. The animal eats the plant, its genes change. We eat the animal or the plant, our genes change. Our babies' genes change. And the change is permanent.
BT corn. The corn itself is registered as an insecticide. This is because every cell has been engineered to manufacture Bt, a natural bacterial toxin. If a corn borer eats any part of the plant, it will die.
We have increasing numbers of retarded and autistic and genetically damaged people among us. We have increasing numbers of lethal allergies and potentially lethal allergies that coincide with the introduction of genetically modified food. We have increasing amounts of autoimmune problems. We have increasing amounts of pretty much everything. The pharmaceutical industry has no interest in having you well because they don't make any money if you're well. And the pharmaceutical industry is the biotech industry.
In September of last year, an international research team led by Dr. Eric Seralini of the University of Keene published a landmark study in the Journal of Food and Chemical Toxicology. The study, titled Long-Term Toxicity of a Roundup Herbicide and a Roundup-Tolerant Genetically Modified Maize, purported to show adverse health effects on groups of rats fed Monsanto's Roundup herbicide and Roundup-ready corn, including liver congestions, necrosis, tumors, and early death.
What is an herbicide-resistant crop? It's a crop that you can spray the hell out of it with a toxic chemical and it won't die. It kills everything except that particular crop. And so you have the ability not only to sell the seeds to the farmer, you're going to sell them the companion pesticide. So you get two sales for one, and they're going to have to come back to you every year and get them. Because once you start applying these poisons on this scale, your farmland is so devastated that to convert